Cities are really the economic engines of the country. So what happens in cities is extraordinarily important to what happens with the country, and I think that importance is growing.
More than 80% of the American population lives in urban and metropolitan areas. And as these cities are densifying, they're beginning to look at parks to help address our pressing urban infrastructure challenges.
The cities who are going to compete in the 21st century have to have a 21st century version of those spaces.
So you build a road, for example, primarily to get from A to B. Well, you can build a park that helps with mobility, getting from A to B, but also serves the purpose of a stormwater management system. It can serve a purpose of improving the health of a community around it. And it can also serve the purpose of really improving the economic vitality of the community that it's in.
It has water quality benefits. It's cleaning the water. It has air quality benefits. It's cleaning the air. There's job creation benefits. There's long-term job creation benefits.
Along the Atlanta Beltline, we have Old Fourth Ward Stormwater Park. The original plan for that was to build a big underground tank underneath a 16-acre municipal parking lot.
That would have cost $40 million, and this green infrastructure cost $24 million. So therefore, there was savings of $16 million.
I think more and more we're seeing a holistic approach to these systems, and function can actually be beautiful.
I believe cities in the future are going to rethink that 40% of that public realm that was overplanned and overprogrammed for cars, and they'll start sharing it in a very different way.
If we can make an area safe for walking and biking, it gives people transportation choices. And it also helps the city achieve some of its equity goals.
The park system creates a backyard for many people who don't have one and who don't have open space, so they allow for communities to gather outside.
Study after study has shown that the more open space and the more dedication of park space that you have, the healthier your community will be.
We know that increasing physical activity reduces negative health outcomes such as cardiovascular disease, diabetes, obesity, hypertension, heart attack rates.
The closer you live to green space, the more likely you are to access it, and the more likely you are to be active. For every dollar spent on creating and maintaining trails, you save $3 in healthcare expenses.
If you intend to help job creators, you've got to be concerned about the health in your community.
I think the whole premise of economic development has shifted now. People want quality of life as a major indicator, and I think companies are now looking for major indicators in that realm.
One of the things that developers understand is that if I have parks, people are more likely to invest and want to live in and work in an area.
The High Line, $150 million worth of investment, created $2 billion in economic activity.
Cities are improving the long-term durability and value of their real estate by creating public gathering places and connectivity.
It's so clearly defined that properties next to parks, especially well-maintained parks, go up in value.
We spent about $13 million to build Falls Park. Within a year and a half, we had over $150 million of private investment directly adjacent to the park. It exceeded any of our expectations.
When we see the cities that have made those long-term investments in urban park and recreation systems, those cities seem to be thriving. They've put that basic infrastructure in place.
What we can do is replicate that kind of investment in every neighborhood, and you'll see improvements. Not only are they actual improvements because people feel safer and they want to be there, there's an issue of equity. It makes the neighborhoods feel better about themselves and therefore willing to do great things and to move out of poverty.
Great cities have to think about great public spaces and how those great public spaces, serve their citizens.
If you expect people to live in a more dense environment, you're going to have parks as part of that equation. You can't be a great city without great parks.